So there could be many alternate centers. Unless you are having the right source, unless you have got the right thing at the center of your circle of influence, then everything may go wrong for you. So then what could be the kind of centers you may have in your heart? What could be the kind of centers you may have in your circle of influence? They can be any of these. It can be your wife or husband, spouse. It can be your family. It can be money. It can be work. It can be possession of properties, wealth, whatever. It can be pleasure. It can be friend or enemy. It can be religion. It can be self. So, if you just look at the previous slide with this, we are deriving our wisdom, we are getting our sense of security, we are getting our guidance, we are getting our power. Let us say for a person only the wife is at the core. Whatever he does, for example, if the wife is happy, this guy will be happy in the world. Vice versa also. If a lady has her husband at the center, so if the husband is happy, she will be happy. If the husband is upset, she will be upset, because the sense of security is coming for that particular person based on the spouse. So the wisdom comes from the spouse. He always asks questions, or they ask questions to each other, and only if they agree, they execute them. So again, the power to do something, to buy something for the house, to do something in the office, to spend money or to save money, to invest, whatever, comes from the wife or husband. Similarly, for someone, it's not just one person, but it could be the family. You see, all political leaders, their sense of security comes from their family. Their sense of security comes from, at least not all political leaders, because there are few honest people, but many political leaders, you can say, they are family centered mostly, isn't it? People may disagree, but you can see if you dispassionately think, this is a fact. And also, a lot of politicians and a lot of business people have money at their center. Everything they do come from the money only. Like their wisdom comes from how to make money, or how the money has to be earned. Their guidance comes from that. Their sense of security comes from that. They feel, if I have 1,000 crores, I will be happy. So that's how. So because the problem is, the center is just like a battery or a kind of energy source, and what you put in that is actually giving you all the four properties, all the four powers to use them. So similarly, for some people it's work. This, for example, if a person thinks, I will be happy only if I get a promotion, if he doesn't get, he will lose his security in the company. About the company, he will have no faith. He will not get any power to do any action in the company, because he feels that power, the authority is everything, because at work he is not happy. Or if he feels that there is not so interesting work at the office he is doing, then his purpose is lost, everything is lost. Similarly, other people are more possessive. Possession can be on the properties, or possession can also be on the people, but they always look at everything in terms of possessing. I possess wealth, I possess this property, I possess the name and fame. So if they lose anything, they don't want to let go of anything. If they let it go, then they feel lost, because they lose these four things: sense of security, power, wisdom, guidance. So that is how you can give any number of examples. For some people it's pleasure. Some people may get pleasure playing cards, losing money, betting, putting spending their money on gambling or boozing, drinking, smoking. You can name it. There are so many things which some people may have something on video games, may doing fun activities. For example, even watching too much of sports on the TV, anything. So if you base, or knowingly or unknowingly, if you allow any of these things to occupy the space in the center of your heart, or you can say, if you let any of these things occupy the power center inside you, or the circle of influence inside you, then the four attributes are the four sources of power, like wisdom, sense of security, your power to act, and your wisdom, all get influenced by them. So where do you stand here? Where do you stand? For which you are standing? Even self-centered people, they also have some problem. We may think out of all these things, probably self-centered thing is better. We are not talking about this self, what is explained in Dharma Shastras. That sense is different, because that one is more about knowing the real self. That's actually the Atman, which we are not talking about those things here. We are just talking about the world-based self, which is ego. Like, okay, I want this, I want to do this, I want to be here, I want to be there. Those things. So it's more about focusing on your own self or your own identity as a person. Some political leaders stand a good example for this. So, or some whoever is egoistic, like he wants to put himself in the middle of everything to discuss. Okay, just because I am thinking like this is not correct. Just because I have done like this in my life, this is correct. Just because others are not listening to me, they are wrong. So this kind of self-centeredness also, if that is occupying the center in you, it's misguiding you. So finally, what's the solution for this then? This is it. The solution is, at your center, there shall always be principles, the core values which we learned in the first habit. But why we did all this exercise? We knew that we need to be principle centered. If we know that we need to be principle centered, then why we are wasting time on discussing on all these things? Because again, in the first habit, we just understood what it takes to be a leader, how we can grow as a leader in terms of preparing our mind. But here we are acting. Now when we are acting, we need to check back how we are acting. Are we acting based on any of the alternate centers? Or we are really acting on the principles, based on the principles. So if principles are driving you, giving you guidance, if principles are giving you wisdom, if principles are giving you that sense of security, if principles are giving you the power to act, only then you can say confidently that I am a leader, I am exhibiting my leadership. So till that point, you might be falling into any of the traps with other alternate centers like spouse-centeredness, family-centeredness, money-centeredness, work-centeredness, possession-centeredness, pleasure-centeredness, friend or enemy-centeredness, religion-centeredness, or self-centeredness. Here, you can say principles again come from religion. Fine, that's fine. But many religions mostly have few things which are again like a kind of organization based. There are certain subtle aspects of religion which are actually based on universal laws. Those universal laws are actually principles, but not everything in the religion. Like if you say go to this particular temple or go to that church or go to this mosque or don't go to any of these things because all these things are wrong, like how some other atheist mindsets they think. So forget about this. If you are binding yourself totally to those things, then you are not always acting upon principles. But principles are those things which do come partly from the religion. But lot of people who are even irreligious, they would be following right principles, because there are certain laws, as we know, which are governing this universe. If you call them as religion, it's fine. But most of the times, these principles, knowingly or unknowingly, are actually driving the human civilizations for a very long time, for some millennia together. So that's the reason principle centeredness is actually the right way of thinking, not only thinking, but also leading the life. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.